Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Chess Advanced, and this is the classical time format of St. Louis Chess Club or Grand Chess Tour. And this game is held in Missouri, USA, and this is a game played between two Indians with the white pieces. We have, this year 2025 is going absolutely amazing for Prague. Prague has been winning so many tournaments, getting amazing positions, and actually doing really, really well. 2025, his rating has skyrocketed, and he's just playing spectacular chess, and he's proud of it as well. And with the black pieces, we have current reigning world champion, and Prague has been playing after, I think, a break of 1 month, and I think he's definitely just gonna enjoy his chess. So let's see what he has in store for Gukesh with the white pieces. He goes for d4. We have knight to f6, c4, e6, and just knight to c3. We go into the East Indian defense, and here Gukesh decide to go for the nimzo, and here after e3 we have castles. Most likely, you see a move like a3 in this position, then you capture, and then move like that, castles, and the game goes on. Here we have e3, castles, and bishop to d3, but a very nice move d5 by Gukesh. And Gukesh was already very much down on the clock. Here he had already spent 8 minutes. I think he knew all those lines, but I think he was trying to not fall into Gukesh's preparations, because I think not trying to fall into Prague's preparations, because I think Prague had something prepared for him. But unfortunately, even after burning time, he actually fell right into his preparations, because here a3 was right, but instead of capturing here and just going back, he chose to go for d captures on c4. And Prague, within, he was not even sitting at the table, and that's what I think was the most psychological factor that played a role in Prague's victory, because he was just playing a move and then moving out of the table, just watching other games. And Gukesh could not read him at all. Like, he could not see his facial expressions, could not see his body language, at least what he was prepared. And I think he fell right into his trap, on the board, off the board, and even even when it concerned any related psychological factors. Here bishop captures was played, but now bishop goes back, as you're supposed to do in nimzo. Either you trade or you go back. There is no hanging in between. We have knight to f3, but now just c5, and c5 is a very known move in this position. Just castles, but just a6, and we have d captures, queen captures, rook captures, and d captures on c5. And here just bishop to b2, a fine move, but I think this is definitely a preparation. I mean, I cannot believe this is not preparation, because Prague is now actually 1 hour 25 minutes. He just spent 5 minutes, and Gukesh is already down to 1 hour 10 minutes. This is definitely preparation. Here knight to c6, but now just going for b4. And now a very, very weird move by Gukesh. Gukesh goes for bishop to a7. I mean, bishop to a7 seems like a principal idea, because you have to understand bishop on this diagonal is obviously very amazing. You would want the bishop to be on that diagonal. You would want to play a move like b5. You would want to play a move like bishop to b7, and you would want all of these things, and that's absolutely perfect when you want to when you want to be in a perfect game. But you have to understand that all of this is not possible. Nimzo Indian defense is obviously very much important, and you have to follow the rules when you're playing the line. There is a reason why people go for bishop to e7. It's not just to defend the back ranks or to defend anything else. It's a principled idea, and there are rules to these things, so I think that needs to be followed. If you go bishop to b7 here, bishop to e7 here, you're absolutely perfect. There is no deflection tactics, there is nothing in this position, and the game would have gone on. After bishop to b2, you play b5. After, you try to double up, maybe after this rook a to d7, everything gets traded off, and after that the game goes on, and most likely would have ended in a draw. But here after b4, we have bishop to a7, just trying to mix it up. But when you're mixing it up, it's always better to have these things prepared, because even if slightest, by a slightest margin, even if you give Prague something, he has been playing spectacular chess. And even now, I mean, his accuracy and level of play by just move 13 was 99.8%. So if someone tells me that this is not preparation, I cannot believe them, because he's just going for bishop to b2, and now just comes rook to d8. We have knight to e5. You cannot trade. You trade, you're getting mated. So here bishop to d7 was played, but it was his idea now, and he went for it. Knight captures on d7, just grabbing that bishop, simply because of the fact that now light squares are going to be very much weak, and he's going to take advantage of them. Knight captures on d7. You don't want to go rook captures. If you go rook captures, then just knight captures, then the other rook joins the party, and your position is just very much weak. Here knight to e4 was played, absolutely best move in this position, and we have knight to b6, but now just going for knight to c5. And as I told you, these pawns are very much weak. Here Gukesh goes for rook a to d8. This is the only move, but now comes this rook captures, knight captures, and a beautiful, beautiful move. Perfect move by the Indians as well. Bishop to e5. And now what do you do? There is nothing in this position. I mean, if you go here, then the position is just very, very bad. You just came from that square, and now you're forced to go there. I mean, if you dare to even go there, the position absolutely crumbles. Do you see how it crumbles? If you want to pause the video, have at it, but the position crumbles because of this beautiful tactic, knight captures on b7, and the game is absolutely lost. If you go knight captures, then this bishop captures on a6. You cannot defend via here or here. The position absolutely is lost, and you can just resign here other than doing anything. But here after bishop to e5, rook a to d8 was played almost immediately. But here Gukesh is down to 12 minutes on the clock, while Pragg has 22 minutes. And this is just move 20. And that's absolutely crazy. Here just e4, absolute best move. You don't want knight to be jumping in central squares. And here we have rook to b8, bishop to b8. I was also, while watching the game, calculating a line like with f6, but f6 just weakens the squares a bit too much, simply because of the fact that bishop to c7 is very strong. Because now if you try to go and attack the bishop, just bishop captures, rook captures, and now just this pawn becomes available, and that also comes with the tempo on the rook, and the position absolutely collapses. So f6 doesn't work in this position, for any one of you wondering. So here we have just bishop to b8, but now just bishop to d4. You don't want to trade that piece. That is the best piece in the position. Also, it's eyeing the king, and you don't want to trade such pieces. Here, knight to c8, but just look at the position. This is just move 22, and it's already so much horror at board. This is what nightmares are made of, and not something you want to face on the board. And here just rook to d1 was played, but just bishop to d6, and now bishop to d6 works, and there are no tactics in this position. And but you have to be careful. If this knight was not here, there would be extreme tactics in this position. And yeah, it's just very, very bad position to have. Here bishop to e5 was played. If you capture, then again you're getting checkmated. And yeah, I mean, I have seen this line of deflection tactic in this position so much that it's absolutely crazy. Here bishop to e7, only move, but now comes bishop to c7, just going for a double attack. Now, I mean, either you could choose to just move away and give up the pawn, and that's exactly what he does, knight to c6, and just grabbing that. But now you have to find again moves which would make Pragg burn a little time, because here just 2 minutes on the clock Gukesh was, and Pragg was roughly 1.5 minutes. So maybe if Gukesh would have done that, he would be maybe just getting a little bit of a relief. But here rook to a7 is maybe something you could do that with. But here after rook to c1, I mean, you have no hope. Rook caps on b7, rook captures, and after going for this knight to a7, this is the most, I mean, when you're down on the clock, your opponent is absolutely outplaying you, and he plays this absolutely disrespectful move. Your rook is under attack, but he plays bishop caps on ace. Not that, obviously, if he played that, you would be very much happy, but he plays this bishop caps on a6. Just, if you want to capture my rook, well, I'm just capturing yours. And that's just absolutely disrespectful. Knight captures, bishop captures, and the position is completely winning. There is no hope in this position. But here after knight captures, not going for any of that. G5 was played, just making some breathing room for the king, not getting any back rank ideas. But here after bishop to f1, I mean, there's no hope. G4, rook to c1, knight to d4, but now just comes this a4. Knight is finally on a decent square, but again, these pieces are just absolutely annoying. Here just f6 finally, but it's just a bit too late. Here e5, and now you have nothing in this position. Knight to a7 was tried, but now just comes bishop to d6. If you trade, you're dead lost. So knight a to c6 was played, but just this b5, and those pawns are marching forward no matter what you do. A captures, bishop captures on d6, and now after going for this e captures, knight to e5 was played, just trying to stop this plus pawn from just pushing forward. We have rook to d1, but just rook to b8 attacking the knight. And Pragg says that my position is absolutely amazing, I could just go back and there is nothing you could do. And Gukesh agreed with him, because in this position, Gukesh Domaraju, current reigning world champion, resigned the game, and Pragg won this game with an accuracy of 97.9%. That's absolutely spectacular for a 36 move game. And in last 4 years, Praggnanandhaa has never beaten Gukesh in a classical match, and this is happening after 4 years. So it's definitely gonna hurt Gukesh, but I know he will come back stronger, because he always does. In any tournament, you see in Norway, you see in freestyle chess, you see any tournament he's played, once he's outplayed, next day he comes back strong and he beats everyone. It happened in St. Louis Rapid and Blitz as well. In the Blitz section, day one, he lost. I think he got roughly like 4 points, 4 or 3.5 points out of 9 in the day one of Blitz. In day two, he came back with a 3.5 out of 4 and an absolute bang. beating Wesley, so beating so many Sam Shackland. He was playing spectacular blitz, and I think he will come back strong from this. I mean, it was just day one. Sometimes you're just not that well prepared. Sometimes you fall into people's traps, and yeah, it happens. It should not be taken personally, but he definitely needs to improve, and I think he will take it as a learning curve, and he will definitely improve before video Swiss. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so do stay tuned to the channel and stay updated. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you, everyone.